A war of seed. A prophecy spoken in the shadows of Eden ignited a conflict that would stretch across the ages. A war between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. A war fought in bloodlines, in generations, in nations, in families, in the unseen realm. From the Watchers of Genesis 6, to Pharaoh's decree, to Herod's slaughter, to the cross, to the last days we now live in, the serpent has never stopped hunting the seed. And today, the war intensifies. This is the story behind the story, the battle beneath the headlines, the ancient conflict shaping the world you see. This is Satan's seed war. In the quiet aftermath of Eden's rebellion, the dust had barely settled when God spoke the first prophecy in human history, a sentence that would define the ages. I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. With those words, the battlefield of all time was drawn. Heaven heard it. Hell heard it. Earth would feel it. The prophecy was not poetic. It was judicial. It declared a war between two seeds, two lines, two agendas, two kingdoms. The seed of the woman would one day crush the serpent's head. The seed of the serpent would strike his heel, resisting the plan of redemption at every turn. From that moment, Satan understood his mission: prevent the seed from ever being born. The war was not about territory, not about thrones, not about angels. It was about the seed. And the serpent began to move with a strategist's precision. The first strategy: corrupt the seed. Satan knew the Messiah must come through humanity, through Adam's line, through flesh and blood. If the human line could be corrupted, the prophecy could be broken. If the seed could not be born, the serpent's head could not be crushed. So Satan turned his attention to the sons of God, heavenly beings with authority, power, and the ability to cross realms. These were not demons. They were watchers, administrators, lower-ranking officials in the government of heaven. They held assignments, boundaries, and jurisdictions until they abandoned them. Satan whispered the strategy, and the watchers listened. The rebellion of Genesis 6 was not spontaneous. It was engineered. It was the serpent's first attempt to biologically sabotage the human race. 19. And the world would never be the same. The watchers descend. The sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they crossed the boundary God had set. They took wives, entered the human realm, and produced offspring never intended to exist. These hybrids, the Nephilim, were giants in stature and giants in wickedness. They were not merely strong. They were predatory. They devoured the earth, dominated humanity, and spread violence like a plague. The corruption was not moral alone, it was genetic. All flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth. The seed line was under assault, and humanity stood on the brink of extinction. Satan's plan was working. If the corruption continued, no pure human lineage would remain for the Messiah to come through. The flood, a surgical strike. But God had a man, Noah, whose generations were uncorrupted, unmingled, unbroken. Noah was not perfect in behavior. He was perfect in lineage. God moved swiftly, not in rage, but in rescue. The flood was not the destruction of humanity. It was the preservation of the seed. The ark became the womb of the new world, carrying the promise forward. The Nephilim perished, their bodies destroyed, their spirits becoming the demons that now roam the earth. The watchers who sinned were imprisoned in chains, locked in Tartarus until judgment. Satan's first attempt to stop the Messiah had failed. But the serpent does not surrender, he adapts. The seed war continued. The war through the ages. After the flood, Satan shifted tactics. If he could not corrupt the seed, he would try to destroy it. Pharaoh attempted genocide against Hebrew infants. The Nephilim reappeared in Canaan through a second incursion, attempting to block Israel's inheritance. Athaliah nearly wiped out the royal line of David. Haman plotted the extermination of the Jews in Persia. Herod slaughtered the infants of Bethlehem. Satan entered Judas to betray the Messiah. Every attack was aimed at the seed, the one who would crush the serpent's head. But at the cross, the prophecy was fulfilled. The serpent struck the heel, but the seed crushed the head. The victory was secured, yet the war was not over. The seed war today. After the resurrection, Satan shifted his war to a new target, the body of Christ. If he could not stop the seed, he would attack the seed-bearers, the church. The war today is not fought with Nephilim but with deception, identity confusion, and spiritual corruption. The enemy attacks the image of God in humanity, seeking to distort what God created. He attacks the family, the womb, the children, the next generation, because the seed is the future. He attacks truth, replacing it with lies that sound compassionate but destroy the soul. He attacks the church with false doctrine, division, distraction, and compromise. He attacks the mind, the body, and the spirit, the whole person. The seed war is not ancient history. It is the present reality of the last days. And Jesus said plainly, "As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man." The final phase. The seed war will culminate in the rise of the final counterfeit, the man of sin, the ultimate seed of the serpent. He will deceive the nations, unite the world under darkness, and wage war against the saints. But his reign will be short, his power temporary, his kingdom doomed. For the true seed, the King of Kings, will return in glory. He will finish what began in Eden. He will crush the serpent once and for all. And the seed war will end in the triumph of Christ and the restoration of all things. The seed war is not mythology. It is not symbolism. It is the pulse beneath human history, the conflict that explains the chaos of our age. From Eden to Noah, from Abraham to David, from Bethlehem to Calvary, from Pentecost to the present hour, the serpent has fought to stop the seed, silence the seed, and scatter the seed. But the war is already decided. The seed has come. The seed has conquered. The seed is returning. And the same Jesus who crushed the serpent's head at the cross will soon crush him under the feet of his people. Until that day, the war continues, not in fear, but in victory. Not in confusion, but in clarity. Not in weakness, but in the authority of the risen Christ. Stand firm. Hold the line. Guard the seed. The King is coming. Thank you for watching this teaching. If it strengthened you, if it brought clarity, or if it helped you see the times we're living in with fresh eyes, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next teaching. Hit the bell so you're notified when new messages release. And leave a comment below. I read them, and they help this message reach more people who need discernment in this hour. If this teaching blessed you, share it with someone who's hungry for truth.